I am filming this when I am slightly sick. I'm not sick yet, but I can feel the sniffles coming. So fair warning if I'm a bit low energy today. Hello everybody, hi, my name is Vash Harry. This is the Harry Knit. It is a channel where we talk about, as you can probably tell, knitting, and this is the podcast. It's the podcast where we talk about FOs, yarn hauls, whips, but I don't have any FOs because I haven't actually filmed a lot this month. Well, I haven't knitted a lot, but I did film a lot, at least for the studio makeover that we're doing. Over the past few months, I've been talking about it over the previous podcast. We signed a lease, so I'm staying at that studio for my work, and we're sharing it with amazing women. I'm not filming there today. I'm filming at home because I have a meeting to run to, so I thought I'd just film this podcast quickly, kind of yap about my knitting, and then go to my meeting, and then start the rest of my day. It is 10:42. I'm supposed to leave at 11:15, so hopefully I can talk as much as I can about the knits that I have. I don't have any FOs because, as I said, I didn't knit as much. I was really focused on organizing and setting up the studio space. Hopefully we have that video coming up next week, but hopefully if you want to check out the vlog, I will leave it up here probably. It's been an interesting month. January is very rainy. It's the rainy season, and it has just been so much rain. To anyone who doesn't know, I live in Brunei, which means it's always hot and humid, and that also means when it is humid and it's raining, there is a lot of rain. So I've taken the opportunity for sunlight that we finally got to film this video. I know it's a bit late, but better late than never. We've got two whips that I want to show you. One that I talked about in the previous episode, and then another that I just started. If you can hear my sister, that is my sister yapping to my cat. So let us just get started with this podcast episode. The first one that I have here, currently an Untitled Vest. It was basically almost done when I was working on the podcast, when I was filming the previous podcast, and then I worked on the body, and now I'm at the back ribbing of this vest, and then I have to work on the neckline and then the armhole ribbing. It is almost done. I just never feel like picking it up. Have you ever feel like when you're working on a project or a design and you feel really motivated to work on it? That was how I felt when I was working on this design until I went to the bottom, and then I just stopped working on it, and then I got really bored. I know I should really continue this vest. It's beautiful. The yarn is gorgeous. I love this burnt orange color. It's from Cascade 220, if I believe. And I think the color is burnt orange, but I could be wrong. I got it when I was in Melbourne for my honeymoon, and I wanted to find a use for this yarn specifically as a vest because I know I didn't buy enough to make a sweater, and that's perfectly fine. I much prefer vests over sweaters anyway. It is a labor of love, and this is probably one of my first oversized pieces. I say oversized. By that, I mean I'm not cropping it. It's actually a regular length because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone and actually design something that wasn't cropped. And this one, I foresee it would be a studious vest, something you would wear, maybe dark academia, but with this color, it's not dark academia at all. It is just regular academia. I really love the color. I think with my black hair now, I'm playing around a lot with color because my hair is so dark. I want to really open up my color scheme in terms of outfits and my choices, because I think with white specifically it can look very jarring, especially with my hair color. So that's why I'm playing around with a lot more brighter colors, except for this sweater that I'm wearing. I didn't knit this, by the way. This is like a very simple sweater that I think my cousin gave me maybe 5-7 years ago that I still wear sometimes because it's comfy. Going back to this sweater vest though, I took a lot of inspiration from studies, and I wanted something that was a very classic look with some differentiations to it. So for example, we've split the hem, so it's like a split hem look because I've been really interested in doing that design element, and I did that for another top I think a couple of months ago, but then it never really went anywhere. I think something like this for a vest really gives a lot more dimension and design to the look, if you know what I mean. I really need to take off these stitch markers. I've been working on this for at least 2 months now. By all means, it really should be done, but I just have not gotten around to finishing it. One of the main reasons why is, I'll be honest, I haven't been to the DJ booth in a while, and when I'm in the DJ booth, that is usually when I do most of my knitting, because it's like 3 hours in the day where I am completely alone. I could do allegedly whatever I want because I just yap for maybe 1 to 2 minutes every 15 minutes. So for the whole 3 hours, I'm able to just work on my knitting, and I haven't been bringing this into the studio, but I think it's time that I should. So hopefully in the next podcast, you will see me talk a little bit more about this, and also probably do a tester call. I hope I have enough time to do a tester call for this vest because it is very pretty. I really want to get this sorted out at least by the end of the month. I also have the Bandar Beanie that I really need to start finalizing because it's been on my mind for at least a month now, but because the studio has been giving me so much work to do for that and setting it all up, I haven't really had the chance to look at it and finalize it, even though the test knitters have already sent in their applications. I haven't even been on Instagram that much, but we're trying out new things. January is when you're figuring out what 2025 is going to be like. February is when the year actually starts. At least that's for my opinion. So that is how the sweater vest is going to go. I am hoping it's going to be done soon. I keep saying that, but she should be done. She really should be done. That was the whip I was talking about, I think from the previous podcast, but the next one is a new whip that I will say is a half FO, half whip, because it's a pair of socks. I wanted to make myself another pair of socks. I just didn't know what socks that I wanted to make. I knew that I wanted to still have some color, but not necessarily at all be color. I knew I wanted to make a pair of socks for January, but I also knew that I probably didn't want to do any colorwork socks. Not because I don't like making them, it's just because I wanted to explore different variations of socks, and I wanted to just play around with different techniques basically. So I found a free pattern. This is the Cherry Pie Socks by Debbie Ford, and I finished one pair and I'm working on the other right now. This yarn is the Big Little Yarn Co. Trusty sock set, I believe. I love watching her videos. I think her name is Melanie. I watch her videos here on YouTube. I'll leave a link down below, but I really love watching her vlogs and talking about her life in Japan. I think it's really fun. And I bought this yarn when I was in Singapore, I think back in September. Is her brand, and I really wanted to try it. So I decided to buy this sock set because I thought, you know what, I'm getting back into socks. Why not buy this and see what I can make with it? And I think this was like the perfect yarn to make this. So the purple here is, I believe the color is called Shiso, and then this red is Strawberry Jam, which I think is a very apt name for it. It's very true, very delightful. And I finished the first sock, this sock, I think maybe I finished it on Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, I finished it on Wednesday. I finished it on a Thursday. I went to a tahlil, which is a Thursday night prayer event for my husband. I started working on this sock on the Monday evening, finished it on the Thursday. It was relatively quick. We went to Miri, Malaysia for a day trip on Tuesday, and I was working on the ribbed heel flap and then the gusset on the road trip, and then I finished the rest of it on the Wednesday night during a DJ set. and then I worked on the Kitchener stitch on Thursday night. So this sock was relatively quick, all things considered. Usually when it comes to knitting socks, I do it one at a time. Like I would do the rib first for both socks, and then I would do the rest of the body or the leg, and I would just work on it interchangeably. But I was really interested in doing this sock, so I just ended up doing the whole thing. This is a very simple lace pattern, as you can see. It's probably just some eyelets, and then this ribbed heel flap, which is just a slip one, and then a knit, and then the gusset, and then a Kitchener stitch. This pattern is free, so I will link it down below. But my favorite part of knitting this sock was just a silly thing. It's just this rib design when I was switching it up. Do you see those slips? So beautiful, so gorgeous. I really love this little detail a bit more than I like the eyelets, to be honest, and that's no fault of the design. I think because the sock, it's not a solid color, you can see that I'd consider it maybe tonal, because the variations, it's not variegated, it's not tonal, but you can see there's parts of it which is like light and dark overall. I think you can see it more at the back right here. So you can see there's some pieces which are a lot darker and a lot more that's lighter. So it doesn't really show up as well on the eyelet design, but I still love working on this sock and I need to block it very soon. I started working on this one, I want to say probably Saturday, Friday, and it looks really cute. I hope I finish it in time. I don't want to have second sock syndrome, especially for these pairs. I aim to make another pair of socks after I finish this one. Maybe for my husband, maybe for my mother-in-law. We shall see. Maybe for myself, because I tend to knit socks for myself anyway. But I already have like 3 pairs plus this, so maybe 3.5 pairs of socks that I've knitted so far for myself. Maybe it's time to actually knit it for someone else. But I think they're really cute, and I really love making socks whenever I'm in a knitting rut. I think it's just an easy project for me to bring around and I don't have to carry everything, which is probably why I didn't knit this one as much, because at one point or another, it just got so overwhelming to bring around. I bring my knits sometimes in a basket like this, which can be very funny to bring around when you're at coffee shops or during work somewhere. So I don't tend to bring this out anymore. And I haven't really sat down at home and rested to work on this, I will be honest with you. I like to work on big projects like clothes when I'm watching TV, when I'm watching Netflix, and I haven't really had the chance to do something like that yet. So hopefully this month I want to have more breaks in the evening so I can focus on knitting things that I enjoy. But that's just a tangent that I have. Other smaller objects like socks, I can probably bring it out and about and it wouldn't be too much of a hassle. It's just the bigger projects. I foresee this video to be quite short considering it's already 10:57 and I have to leave in 15 minutes. But before we do that, I want to talk about my haul. I got myself a haul. Okay, asterisk, I did not get myself a haul. My husband did. He went to Singapore this month for a competition, a mooting competition. And when he was in Singapore, I was supposed to come. I ended up not going, but he promised me yarn, so everything's okay. And he got me some stuff at Yarning Hearts. We initially were looking at different things to get. I was looking through the website, but their website is not as user-friendly as I'd like it to be. And for me, I like going to shops and touching the yarn and seeing what I can make with it. So it's very interesting to bring my husband or like get my husband on this adventure and ask him to touch the yarn and ask him, how does it feel? And all he says it's soft. And I'm like, no, but is it rusty? Can you feel the linen, the cotton? And he's like, I don't know, mate, it's yarn. Thankfully, he did get me some yarn and I'm very excited to show you the yarn haul. I got this in Yarning Hearts. I buy quite a bit from them whenever I'm in Singapore. I think I've visited maybe 3 times now, 3 or 4 times. So every single time I go to Singapore, I'd probably visit their shop just to check out the yarn. I'll start with the first non-yarn purchase that my husband got for me, which are these earrings. He got this for me as a gift. These are whale earrings. These are really tiny crochet whales that he got from me. It's from Small Shay, Big Happiness in Small Things, and they're tiny whale earrings. I think they came in different colors, but I asked him to get me the pink one. He got them for me as a gift, which was very sweet of him. Thank you very much, husband of mine, Mr. Harry. His name is not Harry. This one I think is so cute. What a nice surprise that he got for me. I haven't worn them yet because I want to show it to you here on the channel before I wear them, but I'm really happy to see these little crochet tiny whales. Oh, so cute. I got 4 yarns of various quantity. Let's start with the red one. Do you see how beautiful and rich this red is? It's so saturated on camera. There's little flecks of white and fuzzies right there. This is Stellar Fibreworks, and I think this is in the shade Painted Red. It's their Fauna and Flora sock, 90% superwash merino, 10% linen. I know it says it's their sock yarn, but I don't think I would use this for socks, to be honest, because it is 90% superwash merino and linen. I feel like this one though would be beautiful for the Margaret tee or something similar. I talked about it in my Knitting Plans 2025, and that I really wanted to make a top that was red. And honestly, I think I could have probably made something in this yarn for Chinese New Year because it's just passed and I didn't have anything red to wear, but this would be so pretty for Chinese New Year. So hopefully next year I can make something with this yarn and wear it for Chinese New Year. I think that'd be really, really fun. I've never heard of the brand Stellar Fibreworks, but I'm very curious to see how it will look like. It is 360 meters or 394 yards, and it's a single ply sock weight. So it is, I'd say like a 4-ply. I can definitely make at least a top with this, like a short sleeve tee, because I do have 2 yarns for it, and I think this would look really nice with the Margaret tee. I think that is the plan. Next up from my haul is a brand that you've definitely heard of, but it's the first time I'm actually using it. This is the Isager sock yarn. This is 40% easy wash alpaca, 40% merino wool, and 20% recycled nylon. I wanted a blue sock yarn specifically because I do not have any blue yarn for socks. Actually, that's not true. I do have one, but it's a variegated yarn, and I wanted something simple because I thought this yarn would be really great to use for my husband. He's been asking for some socks with skulls on them. Don't ask me why, he's just a skull guy, but I think it would be really nice to have something like this and maybe a black to knit the skulls, or like vice versa. I think it would look really nice. And I was very curious to try Isager. I've heard good things about them here on YouTube, but I've never tried them myself because I didn't really know where else they shipped, but they did sell it in Singapore, so I wanted to get it for myself. This color is number 11. I can't remember what shade this is, but if I recall it or if I find it online, I'll put it up here somewhere or the link below. Like, my first impression is that it's very soft, and I'm surprised that it actually has alpaca. I know alpaca stretches a lot, so if it does stretch a lot, I'll probably make it slightly smaller just so it fits him, because if it's slightly smaller and I block it and it stretches, at least it fits him. And if it doesn't fit him, it'll fit me. So that's a win-win for me. It's only 50 grams though, so it's a very small ball of yarn. I wouldn't use this to make anything else other than socks because it's 50 grams only and it's so small. It's only 193 meters, which I think is enough to make socks, but definitely not enough to like make a sweater. We are going through these. Okay, next one here. This is a merino linen blend. This is Botanical Nomad in the color Silver Wattlez. It is 100 grams for 360 meters. It is a merino linen blend. This is their Botanical yarns, and it's a single. I want to try to knit with a lot more summer friendly garments. I tend to use a lot of bamboo, I use a lot of cotton, and I use a lot of merino. So including linen in my yarn collection, I think would be really, really interesting. For the first time, I think this is my first, if not one of my very rare nude color yarns. It's not that I don't like browns or nude colors, it's just I don't gravitate to them as much as I do with other fun colors, because I just prefer knitting with fun colors. They bring me so much joy. This was $25 Singapore, which is about 25 Brunei dollars as well, because we do have 1-to-1 currency. And this is really pretty. You can see the fuzz right here, but I'm hoping that doesn't deter me when knitting it. You can see the way it's plied. It's very unique too. It's a single ply, but do you see that? It's almost squishy. Very interesting. This is hand dyed with naturally occurring plant tannins from sustainable sources. All dyes are soil safe and all plant materials are composted after use. Oh, that's so cool. I'm really excited to try this yarn. It's definitely going to stay in my stash. I'm very excited to see how we go from here. I don't think I have any plans for this yarn yet. I do see myself making another surprise short sleeve tee, just don't know which one yet. And last but not least, I have not one, not two, but 6 balls of these. These are the Eco Fusion bamboo cotton yarn by Nurturing Fibres. This is in the color Lilac. It is 50% cotton, 50% bamboo viscose. I like working with bamboo. One of my favorite tops is made with bamboo. It's just a very nice breathable fabric when you're living in a hot and humid climate. I wear it a lot more than a lot of my plain t-shirts that I get from, the regular shops, because it's just so nice. It's so breathable. It's so light. So I really wanted to get another bamboo option to really start knitting. So I got 6 balls of this because it's not a lot. I think it's only about 125 meters for 50 grams. Doing the calculations in my head, I should have enough to make a top, as I tend to make a lot of tops if I'm not making a vest, because as I said many times, sweaters are not really my forte or something that I can make and wear every single year. So tops are my go-to. I think for something like this, it would be really fun to make, I don't know, maybe the ranunculus again, because I did like the ranunculus that I made last year, but I really want to play around with different variations, which a lot of knitters do. It does use 3.5 millimeter needles, and I think you would consider this probably like a sport to DK, but I'm really curious to see. I love the purple. It's a lilac and it's very soft, and I do have some colors similar to this, but not in this like fiber blend. I think that's about it from me. Shout out to the husband for buying me this yarn. You're the best. But I have to go now because my meeting is in 20 minutes and I am still here at home. So if you like watching this video, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of my face. But until then, my name is Bash Harry. This is the Harry Knit, and I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye!